Hi, I'm Dr. Xavier De La Torre, the Superintendent of Schools in the Ysleta Independent School District, and this afternoon I'd like to take an opportunity to bring greater clarity to questions surrounding the tax impact or the tax burden associated with a facilities bond. As you may or may not know, the Bond Advisory Committee has arrived at a proposition for the voters to consider in November, so we believe it's absolutely critical that you all understand what kind of an impact a $430.5 million facilities bond would have on homeowners in the Ysleta Independent School District. And what I'm about to share with you is going to be a little surprising. Let's start with our current reality relative to property taxes and our investment in the Ysleta Independent School District. First of all, let's accept for a moment that we currently levy $1.36 as a school system, as a governmental entity, for every $100 of home value to support 63 schools in the Ysleta Independent School District. That $1.36 is our current property tax rate. And the best way really to see what kind of an impact it makes is to use a home valued at $100,000, a hypothetical home, because the average value of a home in the Ysleta Independent School District is actually closer to $120,000. But for this purpose, $100,000 works well. So we take the $100,000 home and we remind homeowners, residential homeowners in the Ysleta Independent School District, that the Ysleta Independent School District is the only school district in West Texas, certainly in the city of El Paso, that offers a 20% local homestead exemption. And this has been true for about 2 decades. What that means is that before the Central Appraisal District applies the standard formula, a home in our district is reduced by 20%. In this case, this home, for taxing purposes, would be valued at $80,000 or $20,000 in savings to the homeowner. In addition to that, the state of Texas has also had a state homestead exemption, and that homestead exemption has been $15,000 flat rate that's also reduced from the value of a home. So in this case, that $80,000 home becomes a $65,000 home. Now, in order to find out that particular taxpayer's burden, we simply take the $1.36 property tax rate and we multiply it by 650. And what we learn is that this homeowner pays $884 a year to support the Ysleta Independent School District. That happens to be the lowest property tax burden in El Paso County. Not the lowest property tax rate, but the lowest property tax burden, because what isn't factored in all other school districts is the fact that this school district has for 2 decades given homeowners a 20% homestead exemption. Now, we're about to propose a $430.5 million facilities bond. And I'm going to put that up here just so we remember, because this is pretty amazing. The stars have lined up, if you will. To secure $430.5 million for 42,000 students, their teachers, and staff, to reinvest in this school district that is currently celebrating its centennial, 100 years of being the best option in El Paso for families, parents, and students, we would have to increase the property tax rate by 12 cents or introduce a new property tax rate of $1.48. What I'm about to share with you is pretty amazing. A $1.48 tax rate. Now let's take the same $100,000 home. Our local property tax homestead exemption is still in effect, so let's add that. That's that 20% discount, making this home $80,000 for the purpose of supporting our schools. But here's where it gets interesting. This $15,000 flat rate is on your ballot in November. And what the state is asking, they're asking you to decide whether or not this $15,000 homestead exemption should be increased to $25,000. Now, without being 100% certain, I'm relatively sure that most homeowners in the state of Texas would like to see the homestead exemption increased by $10,000 because for all intents and purposes, we're talking about a tax cut. So we're going to go ahead and apply that new $25,000 flat rate, and then we're going to subtract it from that $80,000 home value, and now that home, for taxing purposes that support the Ysleta Independent School District, is a $55,000 home. It's a 55% of actual tax value. So even though this went up by 12 cents, when we multiply $1.48 by 550, what we learn is that this homeowner's taxes next year are going to be $814. So let me say that again. The tax rate went up by 12 cents to secure $430.5 million for not just the students in the Ysleta Independent School District, but to improve the learning environment for their teachers and their staff. Not to mention, it's $430.5 million in the El Paso economy. So I hope I've been able to illustrate the current reality surrounding our tax rate and ultimately our tax burden, that being that it represents the lowest tax burden in El Paso County. And the second thing is that for most homeowners, the passage of a bond in November will likely result in less taxes, not more taxes. Again, for most residential homeowners, that 12-cent increase, when coupled with the state homestead exemption increase, will likely result in less taxes next year as compared to taxes this year. And that you don't see every day.